Faleiro. Sonia Faleiro is born on the 1977 in Goa. She is Indian writer and journalist. She is the writer of the non-fiction narrative. Her critical acclaimed first novel, The Girl, was published by the Viking 2006. This was followed by Beautiful Things, Inside the Secret World of Bombay Dance Bar, and the single 13 Mans. The Good Girls and Ordinary Killing was published in January 2021. ठीक है. So by this paragraph we comes to know that how the Sonia Faleiro was born in the 1977 in Goa, and she is an Indian writer as well as a journalist. She is the writer of a non-fictional narrative. Her critical acclaimed first novel, The Girl, was published by the Viking 2006, and this was followed by The Beautiful Things, Inside the Secret World of Bombay Dance Bar, and a single 13 Mans. The Good Girl and Ordinary Killing was published in January 2021. The article is about the life of the Anita Satpute, a domestic worker in Mumbai. Through this article, we learn a lot about her life, for example, about her life and living conditions. The article is about the life of Anita Satpute, a domestic worker in the Mumbai, and through this article, we learn a lot about her life, for example, about her life and living conditions. So, Anita Satpute is a working woman in the domestic area, and which kind of a conditions and situations she has to suffer in her day to day life, we are going to discuss too in this article. ठीक है. The journalist allow her to talk without interrupting. We must have noticed that the very large number of direct quotations. ठीक है. तो जो सोनिया फिलोरिया है, our journalist, without any interruptions, she talked to her about her life and her problems of day-to-day life, how she managed all the things like her work, her family, her children, her expenses, and all that things. She she has discussed with her uh, in a deep manner. In addition, making story of Satpute more authentic and convincing. The sentences which are quoted in original give it a regional flavor. In additional, making story of सतपुते more authentic. ठीक है. एडिशनल में मेकिंग स्टोरीज जो होती है सतपुते की वो मोर ऑथेंटिक है. ऑथेंटिक मतलब एक तरीके से मतलब काफ़ी अच्छी है और कन्विंसिंग है. और मतलब किस तरीके से उसने अपनी जो भी प्रॉब्लम्स है उन्हें डिस्कस किया है, एंड हाउ उसने कैसे डिस्क्राइब किया है वर्किंग कंडीशंस ऑफ अ वुमेन इन द डोमेस्टिक एरिया. उस जो ये टॉपिक है उसको किस तरीके से एक्सप्लेन किया है, एंड विच काइंड ऑफ डिफ़िकल्टीज शी हैव्स टू फेस इन हर लाइफ, एंड द सेंटेंस विच आर कोटेड इन ओरिजिनल गिव इट अ रीजनल फ्लेवर. ठीक है. तो इसमें काफ़ी ढेर सारी ऐसी लाइंस है जो कि यूज़ की गई है आर्टिकल में, जो कि एक रीजनल फ्लेवर दे रही है उसे. ठीक है. द स्टोरी ऑफ अनीता सतपुते हैज़ अ मच वाइल्डर सोशल सिग्निफिकेंस. जो अनीता सतपुते की जो स्टोरी है इसका काफ़ी सिग्निफिकेंस जो है वो हमारी सोसाइटी पे पड़ रहा है कि हाउ द वर्किंग कंडीशन ऑफ अ वुमेन इन आवर सोसाइटी in the domestic area, how it is a very plight condition, and how uh, um, she continuously managed all the things, family, work, and all the things, expenses, and all that things in order to give the bright future to her children. ठीक है. Um, it throw lights on the poor worker condition in the domestic area. ठीक है, especially on the women, many of whom migrate from the village to the city in order to live good life in the big cities. many of whom, इसमें से काफ़ी जो है वो माइग्रेट हुए हैं फ्रॉम द विलेज टू द सिटी। वो विलेज से सिटीज़ में इसलिए आए हैं ताकि इन ऑर्डर टू लीव गुड लाइफ इन द बिग सिटीज़, ताकि वो एक अच्छी ज़िंदगी जी सके। एट द सेम सतपुते working condition underlining the position of the women in the big cities, Satpute was obviously considered burden on her parents. तो जिस तरीके से सतपुते की जो plight condition है वो just because of that, because she is not educated. hmm? She is not educated and her parents consider her burden on them. That's why they married to a wrong person, uh, who is the um, who is the husband of Anita Satpute, who is not going to support her in any manner. He just want to enjoy, and Anita Satpute have all the responsibility about the children's futures, their studies and food, electricity bill and house rent and all the things. She has to manage all the things, and her husband is not worrying about all these things. And the way her parents married to a first person, it described that she was considered as a burden on them. That's why they married her so early and with the wrong person. The because as the parents are not asked her to gain the good education and good get the good job and all that things, because they consider burden on them. They just married to a person who is not going to support her in any manner. They never asked her to gain good education in order to achieve her goals in her life and become an independent girl. Therefore, she have to suffer from the poverty in her life. ठीक है? She was working from children's bright futures. ठीक है? Because she wants to make her children educated and make them enough capable to earn more money for their future and achieve their goals. That's why she continuously working and managing all the things like all the electricity bills, house rent, and food facilities, and children's education, tuition fees, and all that things. She manage all the things by herself because she wants to give them a bright future. Okay, the journalist's main objective is to raise the awareness about the living condition of the domestic workers, sensitize us to exploitations they faces in their life, especially a women workers. ठीक है? जो स्पेशली जो वुमेन वर्कर्स हैं उनके ऊपर उसने एक हम्म, उसकी अवेयरनेस दी है सोसाइटी को कि हाउ द डोमेस्टिक वुमेन्स आर वर्किंग इन अवर एरिया एंड how they how they have to suffer all these things, like because they are working for their childrens and they want to give them good education because she as a woman and as a mother, they really wants to give them a bright future and good facilities and good food and a good life. So that's why they are continuously working without saying anything, and they continuously working and manage all the things by themselves. The journalist's main object is to raise the awareness about the living condition of the domestic workers and sen- sensitize us to exploitation they face in their life, especially a woman worker, especially जो women workers होते हैं उनके लिए. Sonia Faleiro has succeeded in her purpose precisely because she has avoided an impressional approaches. Sonia Faleiro has succeeded in her purpose precisely because she has avoided an impersonal approach. जो impersonal approaches है उसको लेकर के वो सक्सेस हो पाई है. एंड जो उसका पर्पस था प्रीशली because she has avoided an impersonal approaches and she wants to give the light on the plight conditions of the women who are working in the domestic area. So she was success in her name. The conclusion is that the journalist's main object is to raise the awareness about the living condition of the domestic worker and sensitize us to exploitations they face in their day to डे लाइफ स्पेशली अ वुमेन वर्कर्स। तो इस आर्टिकल को राइट करने का जो मेन एम था वो जर्नलिस्ट का वो ये था बिकॉज शी वॉन्ट्स टू गिव द लाइट ऑन द women who are working in a domestic area and which kind of a difficulties she has to face in her life just because of she wants to give the bright future to their children and make them enough capable to achieve their goals in their life. Okay, so just by um, this kind of a article is here and I hope you like this video and the question what qualities in the Anita Satputhe helped her overcome her lots in life. So the as we have discussed lots of qualities of the Anita Satputhe who which make her strong enough capable to earn money for their families and their children and she is not going to be give up. She is continuously working without any without saying even a single word. So we have to write this answer in the same structure. So you have to follow the same structure. Sonia Flory is born on the first of all you have to write the introduction of the writer. Sonia Flory is born on the 1977 in Goa and she is an Indian writer and the journalist and she is the writer of the non-fictional narrative. Her critical acclaimed first novel The Girl was published by The Viking 2006 and this was followed by The Beautiful Things, Inside the Secret World of Bombay Dance Bar and the single 13 Mans. The Good Girl and Ordinary Killing was published in the journal January 2001. The article is about the life of Anita Satputhe, a domestic worker in Mumbai. Through this article, we learn a lot about her life, for example, about her life and living condition. The journalist allow her to talk without interrupting. We must have noticed that the very large number of direct quotations, in addition, making story of Satputhe more authentic and convincing. The sentences which are quoted in original give it a regional flavor. The story of Anita Satputhe has a much wilder social significance. It throws light on the poor worker conditions in the domestic area, many of whom migrate from the village to the city in order to live good life in the big cities. At the same time, Satputhe working condition underlying the position of the women in the big cities. Satputhe was obviously considered burden on her parents. They never asked her to gain the good education in order to achieve her goals in her life, become a independent girl. Therefore, she have to suffer from the poverty in her life, and she was working for children's bright futures. The journalist's main objective is to raise the awareness about the living condition of the domestic workers, sensitize us to exploitations they face in their daily life, especially a woman worker. Sonia Florio has succeeded in her purpose, partially because she has avoided an impersonal approaches. Conclusion: the journalist's main objective is to raise the awareness about the living condition of the domestic worker, sensitize us to the exploitation they face in their daily life, especially a woman worker. So this kind of a structure we have of our answer, and we have to follow the same structure because otherwise we are not able to gain the full marks in our answer and in our examinations. ठीक है? And this question is repeated in the again and again in your question papers. So if you uh, um, You are going to face this kind of a exam paper, and you have to prepare for that. And so first of all, you have to understand the structure and learn the whole answer according to the question. And I hope you like this video, which is very important according to your examination point of view. Thank you so much.